Hey guys, Omni here, and for today's video I wanted to go over 5 pretty expensive modifications that you could do to your car. The first modification is Nitrous. So out of the gate, Nitrous isn't necessarily expensive. You could get a kit for your Camaro or Mustang for well under $500. It gets expensive in the sense that if you frequently use Nitrous, it costs around $3.50 per pound to refill. So if you have a 10-pound Nitrous tank that you need to refill, that's about $35 each and every time you want to refill that can. So over time, it can easily go into the thousands, especially if you like to drag your car or street race. So keep that in mind. Just because it's cheap doesn't necessarily mean it's cheap to consistently do. And for those of you guys that don't know what Nitrous is, I would highly recommend for you guys to watch Engineering Explains video about Nitrous. He goes into depth about what Nitrous is and how it's applied to cars. But for all intents and purposes, all you guys need to know about Nitrous is the fact that it's highly compressed liquid nitrogen, so it's super duper cold, and when it's injected into your intake manifold, it allows for more dense, cool air to go inside your engine. And of course, when there's dense air, dense cool air, there's more oxygen, and when there's more oxygen, your fuel injectors can inject more fuel, and thus more fuel is burned and creates power. Granted, it is temporary power, it's still a pretty cool concept. Speaking of intake manifolds, the second kind of expensive modification that you could do to your car is aftermarket intake manifolds. So the idea is to maximize airflow and thus producing more horsepower and/or torque throughout the entire RPM range. The third modification that you could do to your car, and also it produces an awesome sound, is an aftermarket camshaft. So with aftermarket cams, it isn't really pricey to buy. For instance, for my Camaro, it's around $500. However, if you want them to be installed professionally, which I highly recommend anyway because you need a tune immediately as soon as that new cam is installed. Otherwise, you run the risk of blowing up your engine. If you don't believe me, go read forums or just consult with any dyno tuner out there. Anyways, back to the cost of having them professionally installed. It will run you easily $1,500 to $3,000 to have them installed and tuned. And that makes sense because obviously they have to take away the front bumper of your car, drop the engine, disassemble the engine, install the cam, and then of course they're going to have to reattach and reassemble everything back. The fourth modification that you could do to your car is boring out your engine. And for those of you that don't know what boring out your engine means, it's essentially grinding away at the cylinders until you have a larger diameter and thus increasing the overall displacement of your car. So let's say you have a 5.7 liter Hemi and you want to bore it out until it's about 5.9 liters. Keep in mind, when you have your engine professionally bored out, it's going to run you a few $100s, and on top of that, you're going to have to get new pistons that are bigger, obviously, because you have bigger cylinders now, and you're going to need new connection rods, new fuel injectors, so on and so forth. You're basically rebuilding an engine from your original block. The fifth and final modification that I would recommend to anyone, whether you have a stock car or a modified car, is dyno tuning. When dyno tuning, you have a professional that will sit down with your car and data log everything and anything coming from your car's engine, the transmission, so on and so forth, so that they can precisely pinpoint how to adjust various attributes of your car so that you could get the best performance possible. So the problem with email tunes is, at the end of the day, whatever organization or company you go through with an email tune, I've had plenty of dyno tuners tell me this and they're honest about it. Those email tunes aren't bad, they really aren't. What they typically do, I'll take Mustangs for example because I know them best. You have Lund Tuning, you have Steeda, you have VMP, you have Bama, you have Unleashed, you have a whole lot of tuners, right? But the thing is, they all dyno a demo car. So for example, they would take a Coyote and just dyno that, and then that will be the baseline for every Coyote out there. So It is a guesstimate. It is the best possible approximation for your car. So if you have a Coyote, understand that even though your engine may have been built from the same factory, there may be minute differences that a dyno can pick up that a email tune will never pick up. Now, if I were to give an arbitrary percentage of how close email tunes get to maximizing your car's full potential, I would give good tuners around 90%. So it's pretty dang close to your car's full potential. But a dyno tune will precisely get close to around 99.9% or even 100% if you have a phenomenal dyno tuner. Unfortunately, with getting that optimized performance for your car, you do pay a premium. Dyno tuning is pretty expensive. If you're new to a shop, it will easily run you $400 to $600 for a tune, whereas an email tune, you could literally buy a tuner and get unlimited tunes for life for $650 some odd dollars. But dyno tuning, the first tune is already expensive, and you still have to buy a tuner on top of that, and then after that, you still have to pay $100 or more for the following tunes every time you need a revision. Alrighty, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel for more videos just like this in the coming weeks. And until next time, please stay tuned. Peace out.